Is Alex Bowman leaving Hendrick Motorsports after 2026? In today's video, I'm not going to speculate. I am going to give you direct quotes from Alex Bowman himself because motorsports.com has a brilliant piece written up with Bowman talking about his future at HSM, talking about his 2026 season, what his future holds, his health, and more. Now, keep in mind that Alex Bowman was a guy who had a cup of coffee in the Cup Series, then kind of faded out a little bit. He was a driver sim for Hendrick Motorsports, a guy that they relied on in-house. And when Dale Jr. got dealt with the concussion situation in 2016, him and Jeff, they filled in for Jr. Ultimately, when Jr. got out of the ride after 2017, Bowman was the guy. He was there. Ally was on board with it eventually, and Nationwide stayed on for a hot minute. And so you had a situation where, okay, he was going to be the kind of experimental type guy. Everybody in the shop loved him. And then obviously he has a breakout year, 2021, 4 Cup wins. Looks like the guy's going to be on just the train just to success. And it hasn't worked out. And obviously 2026 has been a disappointment for him. He's not finished where he should be. As a Hendrick Motorsports fan, my realm is if we don't finish in the top 15, it's a failure of a day. If all 4 cars don't finish in the top 20, it's a failure of a day from an organization standpoint. Now, Alex Bowman is currently 30th in the points. He had that concussion, or not concussion, but he had head issues, right? And he just couldn't get right. And so he is now back, but he's still struggling. And we are in silly season. And there's a lot of talk about who is going to replace him. Not even just he's going to be out of the car, but it's who's going to replace him. Not he's going to stay around, nothing like that. Who's going to replace him? And there's been names, Corey Days of the world and everything like that. And so he did an interview, and he was talking about how he's had success this year, but he's also been part of just Hendrick Motorsports struggling, just struggle city. And he thinks that they've had better cars than what their finishing position says. And that may be the case. But no one cares. No one cares. Where did you start and where did you finish? That's all we care about. Right? You can have a great car every single week, but if you can't finish, what are we talking about exactly? In regards to his future there, he feels like just in general, he has a lot of options on the plate for him, but he didn't elaborate. So what that tells me is he's just being a businessman. He knows he's on the hot seat. Now, speaking of the hot seat, he says that he's not on the hot seat whatsoever in his mind, but rather he just needs to go out there, dial it in, and get better finishes, which I completely disagree with. Alex Bowman is on the flame of the fire. I mean, his ass is burning at this point because you can't have the finishes that he's had in that type of equipment over the last 3-4 years. You just can't. Now, I understand after 2021, I think he averaged like a win or two, a win and then a win, and then he's kind of went on a winless streak. When you're in Hendrick Motorsports equipment, the expectation is to win. It's not oh my gosh, I can't believe this type situation. It's to win. And I understand in 2026, Hendrick has struggled outside of Chase Elliott. Now, I will acknowledge Kyle Larson, he struggled at the beginning of the year, but he's 5th in the points, 4th in the points, 3rd in the points, something like that. He's turned it around over the last 10 races. So I got no problem. He's where he needs to be, and they'll get a win. It's just a matter of time. If multiple wins, it's just a matter of time. With William Byron, he's the type of guy who he's had good finishes, but he's also been very inconsistent. And I think it just comes down to they don't have their crap together in terms of when they come off the truck. They struggle. And it just seems like every single week, either his crew chief has to throw out these wild pit strategies, and most of the time it just bites them because they're trying to overcome what they showed up with. Bowman's just bad. Like, he talked about in this piece in regards to his health, he feels okay. Dude, I don't think you feel okay. I would say in order to be in peak condition, at peak performance, at the Cup Series level, with the expectations that come with the type of equipment in which you have, you can't feel okay. You need to feel good. And I think that's playing a factor in him. I don't think he's 100%. I really don't. And I think he's come back at 90%, 80%. And Bowman has never been a guy where you think, yeah, he can win a championship. He's not that guy. Yeah, he can win, 6 to 8 races a year. Not that guy. What you ask, this is my expectations. What I ask of him, can you give me 2 wins and an average finish of 14th? That's all I ask. Can you do that for me? In Hendrick Motorsports equipment, you better. I think Hendrick is getting better overall as an organization. But I also think when Chase Elliott is leading the organization, that's a problem when you have the type of talent that you have with Kyle Larson, a generational talent, and you have a guy that I don't even think has hit his prime yet in William Byron. And I think he is going to light the world on fire when he reaches that prime. I think as an organization, they are doing a lot of experiments with Alex Bowman in terms of race setups. I think that's hurting his performance. But I think we're at a point now where Bowman may get one more year, if you just want my take, and that's kind of the point of this video. I think they give him one more year because of the health issues in which he had this year. But I think Corey Day's in that 48 next year or in 2028. I still think we're in 2025 for some reason, and we're halfway through the year. So Bowman, he obviously finishes out 2026. They give him one more year in 2027, and then Corey Day's in the car in the 48 car in 2028. I really do. He's had a hell of a runway. He's been there for over 10 years. He's been full time for 10 years, or less than 10 years, 8 years. 2018 he was in the car. So 8 years. He's had a very long run. Then you get him out of the car. I think that's how everything's going to play out. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with me or not, and I will see y'all in the next video.